Welcome. This is Jane Gardner of Solopreneur Success Strategies, and welcome to Mindset Monday. And today we're going to be talking about the willingness to learn as a trait of the mindset of the entrepreneur. We've already been talking about it for a bit, so it's got a bit of information we need to do because learning is one of the focuses of the mindset of the entrepreneur. If you don't know me, I'm Jane Gardner. I work with my husband in our structural engineering firm for the last 20 years. And about 3 years ago, I came onto the internet to help others start their own home business. So I've been doing solopreneur success strategies for about a few months. That includes Mindset Monday, and then there's Get Your Message Out Tuesday, which is all about your messaging and your brand. Wednesday's all about world domination, which is about you and your customer and how to dominate your customer's world so they'll come back to you again and again. Thursday is about being a Jill or Jack of all trades, knowing the skills of being an entrepreneur and how to keep control of your assets. Friday is all about free software and tools you can use in your business. Saturday is about systems you can put into your business to give you more free time in order to grow your business. And Sunday is Strategy Sunday, where we talk about business strategy and your goals and visions for your business. So today is Mindset Monday, and we've been talking about the willingness to learn. Now, I don't think I've set up my slides, so you'll have to excuse me while I set up my slides. Let's have a look. No, I didn't set up my slides at all. I am so unprepared today. So let's remove the old ones. There you go. There's a secret to doing this show, and one of it is being prepared. And obviously I am not prepared, but I'm still going on. So it's imperfect action always. So today is all about the mindset of the entrepreneur. We've had a look at positive attitude. We've looked at the passion of the entrepreneur. We've looked at being an action taker. We had about 5 episodes on that. We had embracing the change as you go along as an entrepreneur, being determined and persistent and relentless, being willing to take failure as feedback, and knowing your big why, your big picture. Being patient, but also an action taker is important as an entrepreneur. And right now we're looking at the willingness to learn as an entrepreneur. And we'll be looking also at the willingness to listen and share with others. These are some of the traits of the mindset of the entrepreneur we've been looking at. For those of you who've been here before, you know that I believe that imperfect action is better than no action. So that's why I didn't restart this show, because even though it's imperfect, we're still moving forward. And we've already had a look at all the previous shows that we've been on, talking about the various traits of the entrepreneur. So if you want to have a look at some of those, you can go to jgtips.com/YouTube and have a look at my YouTube channel under Solopreneur Success Strategies at Jane Gardner, and have a look at some of the previous shows if you want to have a look at those. So an entrepreneur needs to be open to learning every day. The internet changes so quickly. Facebook changes its algorithm. Google changes its search. The tactics that work today are gone tomorrow. They can even be gone today. Sometimes people, well, that's another thing about honesty and respect. It's better to learn strategies rather than tactics. So you have to be open to always learning new skills and knowledge as an entrepreneur. So today we're going to be talking about the willingness to learn, part 3. And as Pablo Picasso said, I am always doing things I can't do. That's how I get to do them. So that's all about practicing when you have a new skill. So success is all about effective learning. Take an inventory of your skills. Evaluate the skills needed to run your business. And where do you need to focus your learning? What skill don't you know? For example, if you don't know any bookkeeping at all, you should have at least a look at a bookkeeping course, a basics, so that you know what the terminology is and what it means when you're going and having a cash inflow. Your weakest skill is where you should start. So have a look at all your skills and see which you need to develop more. Certainly my public speaking skill is very weak, as most people do have problems with public speaking. So I should be going to Toastmasters, but as you know, there's always a fear of failure. So is your weakest skill your knowing anything about finances? Or is it being organized in your office and in your computer and in your day? Do you need to learn some skills on how to organize yourself so you can get things done? What is the weakest skill that you have in your business? I've already mentioned mine. What skills do you need? Ask yourself that question as you're going along in your business. And ask people in your industry if you feel you don't know the answer to what a skill needs in terms of learning how to do it, then the people who are doing it, you should ask them how they do it, because that's the quickest way to learn. Or you can find a mentor, find someone who will mentor you in your business and help you find the pieces that are missing within your business. For example, I have the 5 steps to a business online in 30 days training that I do. And I can go through and find out where you're missing a certain step in your business in order to create a business that flows and continues and makes money and sales. So learning is all about removing obstacles. Remove obstacles by acquiring new skills. So what's holding you back from learning a new skill? Is it finances? Well, it's always possible to get some funding from somewhere else, whether it's from a friend or maybe you can get a training in return for doing a service for the person who the service you want, training you want to have. Any way that you can do it so that there's a return on your investment so that you can actually get that skill would be excellent. Or is it the fear of failure that we discussed before, that you won't be able to do it, and so because you're afraid of trying, you don't start? Well, I know bookkeeping looks intimidating, but it is very simple, actually, when you just look at it from a very simple perspective, and the training that shows you how to look at it from a simple perspective is the training that you should take. You should not become a certified public accountant just in order to learn how to read a financial statement. What is the tool or resource that you need? What is the thing that you don't understand or you don't have in skill in your business? And decide whether or not you should move forward in focusing on that tool. And how far will it get you in your business? So what are the beliefs or ideas that are holding you back from learning a new skill? For example, that you're not capable of doing that skill. A lot of time it's self-negativity that stops you from learning a new skill. If you tell yourself you're not good at handling money, then of course you'll never learn how to do it. So always remember that. Believe that you can change and remove your negative beliefs. Identify those negative beliefs and change them. Always keep track of your progress is another idea. Celebrate each skill or each part or step of a skill that you're learning, and when you complete it, by putting it in your daily journal. And then also reminding yourself, well, what else do I need to learn? And put that in your daily journal. So maybe you've learned the first step of building a sales funnel, but you need to know how to put in a pay button, a sales button. Then you need to put that in your journal to say, oh, and I need to do this, so that you're aware of what you need to do and so that you will remember to focus on it rather than just ignoring it and continuing on. So the thing you learn to do, even if it's minor, for example, you just learn how to create a slideshow, it's going to move you forward. So, and it adds a skill you need to learn so you know what to learn next. So, for example, if I was just learning how to make a slideshow like this presentation, and I did my first slideshow, I mean, that's awesome. But then, of course, the next step would, of course, to make a presentation and record it into a video. So then you have to decide, well, do I know what am I missing in terms of skills as to how to record a video, and what tools am I missing to record a video? And then move forward from that. So having a daily journal where you can write these thoughts down so that you can remember them in the overwhelm and focus that you need to have when you're in business and running a business that has several parts. It's always good to put them down on paper so that you remember them, or of course in your Evernote, or you're on the computer in a list. Another reason for the daily journal is to monitor when skills need to be brushed up. For example, you may lose the ability to do a skill as you go on and do other things, and then you suddenly find out that you don't remember how to do it. Well, that weakens your ability to do the skill, which means you'd have to go back and do the retraining again. So it's always a good idea to keep an eye out for skills that may be weakening because you've been too busy doing other things, and try that skill out again to keep in practice. Even though you may know how to do a presentation and put it into a video, it's always good to just do it on a fairly regular basis, even if it's just once every 3 months, so that you know how to do it and and then you don't slow down in terms of how you do it. This Solopreneur Success Strategies podcast has been a very good way for me to learn how to create a podcast and what are the steps to do a podcast. And it's been one of these skills that I'm tempted not to stop doing, because it certainly has a certain routine to it, and it creates content quickly. Sorry, breathing here. So the point to that story is that even though you may stop doing podcast, then the question becomes, well, how will you be able to start it up again in, say, a few months? So in terms of keeping going, it's probably better to keep going and keep it into a routine, especially if you're doing it fairly quickly. It's all about learning with a plan and focus. Learning to move forward towards your business success. So it's always good to keep learning, because you always need to know new skills and new knowledge as the internet and the changes and companies come and go, and you need to adapt. So it's always good to be able to have certain techniques, like having a daily journal that you write in to think about what you need to do to move your business forward. And that's why also I have the workbook. It's a free workbook called From Learning to Business Success at http://jgtips.com/learn, where it helps you to focus on your priorities when they're learning, so you're not wandering off and getting distracted by all the things that you need to learn, but instead you're learning how to train your brain to focus on one thing and make your priorities straight, so that you prioritize which skill you need to learn first, and of course which routine you need to create first. So that's what my workbook is. And of course, you can always develop your success mindset also at http://jgtips.com/s-mindset. Or subscribe to my Solopreneur Success Strategies channel at jgtips.com/YouTube, and you can go back and look at the other traits of the mindset of the entrepreneur, where there's always lessons on learning how to do some of these traits. If you don't know how to do them, it gives you some techniques to learn how to become proficient and being an entrepreneur and keeping the mindset you need every Monday. So that is always good for Monday, is to start thinking about your mindset and making sure it's positive, and that you're keeping it up to date, and not feeling frustrated and overwhelmed by your business. Sorry, and I should probably put down the list again of the mindset of the entrepreneur for those of you who need to review. You can go back and have a look at some of these other mindsets of the entrepreneur traits. The only one there that really you don't need to have to train your brain is to have the passion. If you don't have the passion for your business, then you're not going to be able to survive the stress and challenges. But everything else there, you can train yourself to have as a trait of in order to move your business forward. Because of course, imperfect action is better than no action in your business. So just get moving. So this is Jane Gardner, and I wanted to say, please subscribe, comment, or like on my YouTube channel, or you can do it on my website at janegardner.com, where we have implement.club for those of you who want to move forward in your business and learn some techniques in order to be successful in your business. So we're continuing on next week with we'll see if we continue on with willingness to learn.